Welcome back to Breaking Barriers. I am your host, Brisa de Angulo Lozada, and today we have the wonderful news of Frank Astorino joining us. He has a wealth management company, and we are extremely honored to have him today. It is so wonderful to have you here today.
Well, thank you, Brisa.
Frank and I have known each other for a while, so it is really nice to sit down and have time to talk, because most of the time we're like running around and we're like, hi, how are you? And
This is true.
So this is really wonderful. Frank, I would love for people to get to know you a little bit more beyond your title and your work. So tell me a little bit about who you are.
Well, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a brother. I got all the tribe, from my origin, the eldest son of 8 children. Wow. And I'm a philosopher, philanthropist, and I try to align my values and goals with the people I care and serve.
That's wonderful. Can you share with the people here today a little bit about what you do?
It's not so much what I do as why I do it. I try to have impact. I certainly follow your lead on justice, so I try to defend, the people that I serve. I also want them to delight. I have, pretty expansive toolbox and experience and education, but at the end of the day, I try to help people find joy in their life and see that their money and wealth aligns with who they are.
I love that. One of the things that I take out from knowing you is that it is much more than just the financial part. It is about getting to know the people, their dreams, their aspirations, their legacy, and to be able to live the best version of themselves, because at the end of the day, we only have one life and we need to fully, richly live it. Mm-hmm. And part of what you do is helping them see beyond that.
Yes, that's well said. There's a lot of stories behind the numbers.
Yes.
So I find one of the satisfying parts of my career is getting to know a lot of stories and to be part of their stories. Their stories are my stories, and I try to live who I am and who they are. I had an insight to our humanity when I went to college. I put myself through college. I left home to go to college. And I was pre-law at the time at a liberal arts school. And the mentor priest who guided me also was the pastor of a home for battered children called the House of Nazareth. So the stories he told me were disturbing, but they also gave me insight into humanity, and I pursued that while I was in college. And then after college, I really pursued the financial world and designations to be able to make a difference.
Is there, going after your dreams, like, for example, opening your own business can be something that's pretty scary because you have no idea whether it's going to work or not work. Tell me a little bit about, like, what in your life, like, have you had this time where you had to break through these personal barriers, either mentally, emotionally, situationally, that made you get to where you are?
Well into my career, I was leaving a client, and it was a long drive. It was like 3 hours away from where I live. She had gotten a structured settlement for the loss of her husband in a U.S. plane crash. So I used to go out to visit her out west and drive each way. It was a night that her new husband was sharing some very disturbing news about his former ex. And I drove home, and something was weird about that night. And I'm driving through the mountains, and I came to like Delaware Water Gap, and on one side of me there was the Delaware Water Gap, on the other side there was a divided highway, 2 lanes with a divider. And I kept trying to get my wife on my cell phone just because I needed to stay awake. And the next thing I know, There's a car, in retrospect, was trying to pass me, and all I could do is feel the car shaking and pushing me to the side towards the Delaware Water Gap. And what was happening was this elderly gentleman was driving the wrong way on Route 80. He took both of us out, and my car was shattered. I was locked in my car, and it was a moment in time that you saw how fragile life was. And fast forward, that month, Mitch Anthony, who was kind of the pioneer of financial life coaching, and that led me to engage in life coaching as much as financial planning. So I felt that was a pivotal point for me, and it got me to do a lot of introspection as well.
Could you explain a little bit what you mean by financial coaching? Like what, for people who don't know out there? Well,
the traditional financial planning was more quantitative and numbers and goals and so forth. And I think life planning is more three-dimensional. I mean, you have to kind of understand the human element and understand the psychology behind decision-making and what stories might have impacted people, and that affects their finances because they have anchors. Right. Overconfidence biases, fear of missing out biases, recency biases. So I delved into more of a more qualitative questioning and discovery process. And that discovery process really connected me with the people. There was a lot of tissues in my office, and people felt relieved to be able to share. And so I became adapted to that, and it tied the two together. So there's money management, which is mathematical, right, and so forth.
And it's like this, I mean, what I hear you say is kind of some people carry their own cell inside their heads, and what you do is like open that cell and say, hey, there's so much more possibilities, there's so many things, and here's the way to do it, and here's the answer, and you don't have to go through this by yourself. And it's beautiful. And I'm sure a lot of people get to you with a lot of confusion and a lot of like, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing, and you're like, it's okay.
Yeah, I try to make it simple. I try to give them stories and analogies, but most of the people are frightened and intimidated because every one of us has this desire to be prosperous, but also to protect. So the protective gene in me came out a lot, and I always tried to see what could go wrong with the situation before giving them the tools to fix it or to make it happen.
Right. Is there any moment in your life where you were at a low, where you were like, I'm giving up, this is not for me, but somehow you held on and it took you to the next step?
I think the financial life planning and that crash and some deep introspection, it made me reflect upon things that I had buried, beneath the surface. And I feel like there are little signposts and angels along the way that kind of lead you and connect the dots. And, I think one of your presentations was one of those dots that kind of touched my soul and said, you don't have to keep it buried all the time.
I think one of the hard parts of life is that we think we need to wear masks around to be accepted, to be okay, to not be judged. And many times, no matter what we do, we're always going to be judged. And many times we disconnect from ourselves to satisfy others. And it is that process of understanding that moving forward is a lot, or healing is a lot more than just moving forward, but it is about looking inward and finding that peace and that sense of being authentically you. And that's tough.
I use the analogy of a beach ball. That came out of my coaching experience, but think of, we have different issues, but let's say it's one issue and you're standing on your beach ball underneath the pool, and the community pool has all the people that could judge you, that are all around you, and you're not going to let that beach ball surface. So standing on it is very awkward and you lose your balance and so forth. But one of the things I try to do in my discovery with people is let them open up and let that beach ball surface. I find the beach ball, and it's amazing how liberating that is for people who would even say things like, I never told anybody that.
Yeah. That's so powerful, because it is when we get connected with those roots, with those hidden things that we've been trying to hide so many years, it is precisely that gives us the strength to connect with others, but also to shine for others the path. And it's scary. It's scary to make that decision. But once you cross, you can't go back. And we find that one of the most fulfilling things that is like, I live in peace with myself, and this is who I am authentically. And that gives also a lot of confidence to people around you.
That was impressive about you, and I followed your journey. And to know that, sometimes when you don't want to be open or transparent about something because you don't know how it's going to affect the people you love, and to be bold to know that their future is affected by you finding truth, and in many cases finding justice. So to me, that takes a lot of courage, and it's selfless. But those barriers are there for all of us because we're afraid of being judged. We all want to be liked.
Yeah, it's sometimes self-imposed, but also societally imposed shame and guilt and fear. And a big part is fear of abandonment. And that is so deep. Like, if you see my true colors, then you will abandon me. And it's so hard. But maybe if you show your true colors and some people walk away, they were meant to be there. And it's like, but there will be people who see your colors and will help you make them brighter and shine brighter. And that's a scary part. And I'm thinking, like, generationally, when we can walk in our own truth, we are giving permission to those who follow to walk in their own truth. And how important it is that, when we can shine in our own truth, regardless of how painful it is, we give other permission that it's okay to shine in our own brokenness and our own wounds, but this is who I am. And it's a challenge.
It's a challenge. I think what helps us get there, and I tell this to people who are planning their retirement, that one of the main things I encourage them to do is be selective about their tribe.
Yeah. And
who they're going to mingle with and have interests with and conversations with, and who aren't going to judge them. And I think that you don't have to wait till you retire to do that. I think you need to surround yourself with like-minded souls that travel the same path together.
And sometimes, like, that one friend is worth a lot more than 10. And so it's like, how do we find those one people, even if it's a smaller tribe, but those people who will be with you? Sometimes we just want big crowds and the popularity, but at the end of the day, those who are going to be with you are the people you need to invest time in.
I think it's the law of attraction. I think you attract to you those like-minded people. I find it in my business.
Right.
There are exceptions. I have one or two outliers, but the majority of them are family stewards. They want what I want for my family. So I think you're drawn to that, and they're drawn to you.
And it's people reach out to you at such a critical time in their lives where they have to make decisions, not only for them, for their future, for their children, their grandchildren. And And it's a scary because, there's always, what if I do it wrong? What if this and what if that? And how beautiful is to find someone that it's not, yes, numbers are important, but it's not about the numbers. It's about you and your dreams and your values and who you are.
Part of guiding them is to make it clear that there are things that we can control and not control.
Yeah.
And there are things in our toolbox we can control, but we can't control, disasters and
right.
illness and interest rates and things like
right.
that. But we can prepare
exactly.
for those, one-offs that could happen.
Yeah, that's so important to have that safety net for the things that we can't predict. And you have been doing this for so long that it's like, okay, this is what can happen. This is how it could happen. And don't worry about it. I've also seen it. I know how to work with it. Like, you can trust me. And I think that's such a beautiful person to have in your corner who can help you navigate through this.
That's part of the driver, when you know that, I think of the comfort a doctor can give when you don't really understand medicine or your whole anatomy. But I think when it comes to the world of finances and the influences that can take part in your life, you have to be able to know how to adapt and how to have the tools and know where to go for those tools. And it's the ones that kind of are in denial that struggle at some point in their life. It doesn't matter how much money they have.
Right. So for those people who are out there listening and somehow are stuck in a place where they're having this difficulty of breaking through, and what's something you would tell them?
I would tell them that what would life be like if you knew you never would fail? And that, I got inspired. My dad gave me that feeling when I was about 15 and not sure what I was going to do. And I always thought of the obstacles. Mm-hmm. But knowing that you're loved unconditionally, whether it's your tribe or the people that you're closest to, I never thought I could do all the things that I'm doing. And now that I've done them, I look back and say, what would life have been like if you knew that you could do those things and not fail?
That's beautiful. I love that. What would be someone who wants to connect with you, get to learn more from you, reach out to you? What's the best way of connecting?
Well, you. No, I feel, we've gone beyond word of mouth, but, our website has our information. They could check us out. And
Can you share your website?
Yes, www.astorinofinancialgroup.com.
Amazing. So if you want an amazing wealth management person that goes beyond the numbers, Frank is the person to go, not only as a advisor, but as a friend, because it's a lot more than, like you say, it's opening your heart and having someone to walk with you through this life. So,
well, Brisa, thank you. It's been an honor, and I look forward to charitable events with you and with Parker, and I hope we change the world.
We will change the world. There's too much pain going on, and we're here for a purpose, and when we shine, we can give permissions others to shine. So we will change the world.
I got it.
And I know that we'll keep getting together. It is absolutely a pleasure.
Parker, I like, he's Robin, you're Batman, you're Batwoman. So I thought that was a great line that he had. So we'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen. Thank you so much for being here. It is such an honor to have you.
It's a pleasure, and thank you for having this.
Thank you.